of these stories, the one with the alligator who apparently went in and grabbed a 2-year-old boy in Disney. Jim Ryan, thanks for joining us. A very busy morning. What can you tell us about this alligator story?
Hey, McGraw, yeah, just a bizarre and heartbreaking story to any parent or any anybody who has a heart at all, McGraw, and thinks about what happened last night at about 9 o'clock. A family of 4 visiting from Nebraska, a 2-year-old boy, his older sister, and their parents sitting alongside a lagoon at the Grand Floridian Resort. At about 9 again last night, the boy wading in about a foot of water was attacked by an alligator, dragged under the water. The father desperately tried to save the little boy. The mother then jumped into the water to try to find him. Both were unsuccessful. The alligator, the boy, still have not been found, despite the best efforts of law enforcers and searchers across the area who swarmed in here, dozens of them, to try to find any sign of the child.
So I can't imagine this is the first kid to ever be wading in this pool. So this must be the first time that an alligator was found in this pool.
Well, at least the first time that an attack like this has happened. The sheriff's deputy heading up this operation said that they went in. They did find evidence of other alligators there in that lagoon. So you have to assume that the alligators are there all the time. But an attack like this might never have happened before.
I can't believe that they can't find the alligator.
Well, it's a large body of water, and it's also connected to other bodies of water by little canals. So it's possible that the animal is some distance away, but they're continuing the search. Sheriff's Department, those searchers say that they're not going anywhere until they find some sign of the child or the alligator.
Now, the boy, as you said, was in this lagoon, which isn't uncommon, right? I mean, a lagoon and where this is, kids do this all the time.
They're not supposed to. I mean, there are signs posted around there warning against swimming, not warning against alligators, but telling people that they're not to go into the water at all. I think for a lot of reasons, McGraw. But I suspect that you're right, that occasionally kids do what kids do, and they're kind of wandering off and wading into the water. But sitting there right in front of his parents and his sister, and this horrific tragedy happens.
All right. While that is going on, Orlando is still dealing with the mass shooting from the other night. What can you tell us about Omar Mateen's wife? Is she going to be charged?
It's possible. Is it likely? Hard to say. Investigators haven't made a decision on that yet. They are talking with her. They're trying to figure out what she knew about the attack that her husband carried out this Sunday morning. There is a possibility that a grand jury may be impaneled to take a look at this as well, and that may be the direction that this goes in terms of any charges that could be filed. But, yeah, she could be looking at some serious consequences if she knew what her husband was up to, knew the extent to which he would go to carry it out, and didn't say anything.
It's a very hard thing to prove, right? What did you know about somebody else's actions?
Yeah, and initially I think she said that she didn't know much at all about what her husband was up to, and I think that under pressure from the FBI and questioning, she finally said, look, I knew something. She apparently was with him when he bought some ammunition, had a holster. But it's not clear, and it's certainly not thought that she was there at the club that night, but it isn't clear exactly how much she might have known and whether she told anybody at all.
Now, do we also hear that Disney was also on a list of possible places he was going to attack?
Yeah, I think the FBI has said that the two of them, had looked at different locations. Now, what exactly that was about isn't clear. I mean, he had been to Pulse nightclub, according to some other club goers, but not as a way of surveilling the place or trying to get a lay of the land, but trying to, hook up, for lack of a better term. Apparently was there on social visits over the last 2 years. So, again, we're getting a very conflicted and troubling picture of a person who did something absolutely horrific.
Yeah. His ex-wife has come out and said that she believed he was gay, right?
But yeah, she said that quite flatly, and she also talked about a really violent nature that he had. So I think we're learning more about this guy every day. His father still insists, and it's interesting to hear this guy, that the father, McGraw, I don't know if you've seen any of his sort of shoestring, off-the-cuff television internet show that he has.
Yeah.
That sort of an anti-American program. He talks about the Taliban and supports them. Anyway, asked by ABC whether he thought his son was gay. He says, "Oh, absolutely not. If he was in that club before, it was to scout out the location, not to try to pick up men."
Yeah. Jim Ryan, Crazy 24 Hours, live from Orlando. Jim, thanks for checking in.
Sure, McGraw.
627.